Hello everyone, this is Judith with another video. Yeah, and it's all about the twin flame journey. It's all about giving you guidance, giving you the messages that are coming through from spirit. I pulled some cards, and today, once again, it's about separation, but slightly different. Spirit wants me to talk a little bit about divine timing, what this is all about, right? And that, I want to start off by saying that separation in itself is painful, right? We have those two cards. For those who've been watching the recent videos, we've come across these cards lately. And this moon card keeps showing up. So there are some fears, some hidden things, even hidden to you maybe, right? Things that need to be released. On the traditional tarot card, there is a kind of a portal for you to walk through, right? And it's with this white and dark wolf that is howling. It's like the two pillars, right? The shadow work and focusing on the light, what I always say. And this needs to be balanced in order for us to receive a lot of things, right? Our gifts are unlocked. We're like connected to our higher self. We're like more grounded. We feel more stability. We experience more stability, right? And when this is out of balance, and when we are like, for a large part, trapped in subconscious fears, in unhealthy patterns, unhealthy belief systems, toxic relationships, and we are not conscious, and we are not like able to change our awareness, right? Because it's all about our awareness, our consciousness. So we have to become conscious, and both of those figures here are not conscious. She is like not conscious, and this person here is bound, right? It's the Eight of Swords, so basically like obstructions and blocks on the level of the mind. So you're trapped in the mind. Well, it's not so easy sometimes to just stop thinking, right? But what is this all about now in relation to separation? Well, separation in itself is painful, right? She's in pain here, right? With all those all wired up, right? All entangled and bound, and it looks painful, right? She cannot see. She's in the darkness. Darkness is also painful, right? So twin flame separation, and especially twin flame separation, is painful in itself. And when we start off our journey and we try a lot of things, then one of the things that we have to accept in a way is that there is divine timing involved, right? And what is coming to mind with this is, of course, resistance. So who is like keeping this person bound? She is keeping herself like this, right? The mirror is showing her truth. That's where you are at. That's where you are at. You haven't freed your mind, right? You have not freed your mind, and so you are like still in painful emotions as well. That's not to judge anyone or to say that this is bad. This is not bad in itself. It's just a gift. It's a gift because at least you can see clearly here in this mirror. So the world is your mirror, right? The world is your mirror, and your twin flame and everyone else, really. Not everyone else, but everyone and everything else all together is showing you who you are on the inside, what you keep going, what you have active in your field, what energies you are activated within you, right? What you allow in your field. And this doesn't look very good, right? That probably doesn't feel very good. It's probably connected to stinking thinking, right? So that's where we have to be courageous to look at that, and not only to look at it but also to feel it, right? That's the key. Feeling is the key. And then yeah, we have this card here. My dream thoughts are not creative thoughts. And I think this might be a message that a lot of you need to hear, that while we are sleeping, right? While we're sleeping and dreaming, we are not creating. This is like a pause. So this is why a lot of like subconscious programming is like designed to listen to while you fall asleep, right? Because while you fall asleep, you're like still in creator mode, but your subconscious is opening and letting in new information. And then while you sleep, what you really do is you rest. You're not creating. Your dreams, they are showing you where your point of creation is, what you're really like creating at the moment, or from what belief systems you are creating. But to create actively, this can only happen then in the next morning. So when you fall asleep, you can set the intention, or can set the intention, or can look for a feeling that feels different from this one, that feels free, that feels limitless, that feels connected, right? This person, we talked about separation. What's so painful is the disconnection. This person is disconnected from herself, right? And this is like being mirrored to us when our twin flame is not with us. This means that at some point, to some degree, we are disconnected from ourselves, from the larger part of who we are, from our higher self, right? From our soul, from spirit, from the divine, however you want to name that. But we are disconnected. And that was that is what feels so good when we are together with our twin flame, right? When we feel that connection, even if we are not together, maybe, that we feel that deep connection, and this connection feels so good, right? Being connected, that's basically why we want the connection. So it would be beneficial for us to focus on this connection, on this aspect of being connected to ourselves, to our twin flame, but not in a sense of longing, right? I just mean this yummy feeling of being connected, and stay with that while we fall asleep. Maybe you find a meditation that is encouraging you to do that, and then set the intention that the next morning when we wake up, we like wake up to this yummy feeling of connectedness, right? So my attention to it invites it in, yeah. So this is, in terms of divine timing, this would be like us checking in all the time. Is something moving in my union? Is my twin flame answering my email or my text message? What is my twin flame doing? Maybe your twin flame is somewhere on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, then looking at those posts. There's nothing wrong with looking at them, right? But with like wanting to read something out of it in terms of what is happening to our connection. Your connection happens on the inside. When you check in, then basically what you say, what you communicate to the universe is that you don't trust, right? That you don't believe it. You introduce resistance into the whole thing. And that is slowing things down, right? And this also doesn't matter, because why are things going a little bit slower? Because there are things that need to come to the surface, right? It's all for a reason. It's not, certainly not to annoy you, but everything also that you learn in the process, how those things work, how you move in the right direction, and where you find the evidence that you're doing this. And how you feel and what you see on the outside. Basically, it's really good to know you're not creating while you sleep, so this gives you a rest, and there's no resistance when you are sleeping, right? And when you are awake, you are creating, and everyone is creating basically, but by default, right? Very often, then we create what we don't want. And we can direct our attention, right? And so Spirit wants to encourage you in your words and actions. Words and actions. Be mindful where you focus, right? So the separation of your twin flame, very often when this is in the stage where this is so painful, it's a good idea to take like a pause, right? Like sleeping is good, but Spirit wants to point out it's not only like sleeping, but also like focusing on something else, right? Then don't focus on your twin flame union, but focus on something that feels better. Focus on something that maybe feels even good or great, right? The better, the better, right? But it doesn't need to be something completely blissful, but something that feels better, right? And sometimes, yeah, it might be something else than what you think. I think for most twin flames, it's not. They're different stages, right? And we have this period, this whole phase where we are in a kind of monastery, right? Or cave, where we are on our own, where we find out a lot of things, where we also gain a lot of clarity, right? That's very tricky, because we hang out in sometimes, not always, but we are like still caught up in a lot of belief systems that are not serving us. Yeah. And then when we start to work on our issues and release things, then we come to a place where we can choose other things, where we can give our attention to other things, and where we trust that this is a good idea. that this is the way that will eventually lead to twin flame union. Because honestly, there is no other way. As I always say, you cannot get from fear, lack, longing, separation to twin flame union. You get to twin flame union when you feel fulfilled, when you feel a deep trust, when you've gained clarity and deep knowing about what this connection truly is, right? When you reunite with your higher self, when you know who you are, basically, when you know that you are a divine eternal being, and when you know know that you are capable of creating your own experience, and that everything that shows up in your reality is basically a message, is basically communicating to you. And those messages might not be so welcome at times, but really because you have the power to change that, it doesn't really matter, right? And then in the end, it's even fun to discover something that looks like a problem, and then to 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 work on it, like with your attention, the way you give attention to it, or withdraw attention. You cannot basically withdraw attention, but you withdraw attention by giving your attention to something else, right? And in this way, you release resistance. And when you release resistance, basically everything moves forward. Yeah. So there's maybe one area like twin flame union that is blocked because it's just something that you want so much that by focusing on it, you introduce resistance automatically, right? It's too important to you, right? Too much pressure there. And then let's say you focus on something else, and this is also why it's recommended really to not stay there, but for example, like work on your mission. It's only a suggestion, right? It could be anything really. It could be art, could be traveling, could be really anything. But maybe those things then are also connected to your mission. Your mission is basically what you like to do, right? And in this way, why should you focus there? Because it feels good, right? Because this is something that you like to do. Feels good, and because it feels good, you release resistance, you let go of resistance, and you let go of resistance in all other areas as well, right? There's only resistance or no resistance, and this goes for everything else then as well. And so everything else in your life moves forward as well. So that's basically a misunderstanding that we have collectively about what it means to feel good, what it means to follow our gut feeling. That's much more important than what we do on the outside. And I think especially in the twin flame journey, we've all like tried several things, some of us more, some less, but we all have tried things on the outside, right? And I always say, well, take action. There's nothing wrong with it. I always recommend do that. Take inspired action, right? Take inspired action towards your twin flame. We can talk about inspired action maybe in another video. That's maybe a good idea. Yeah, but I think there were some messages that some of you might might need to hear today. And yeah, if you feel stuck in any way, if you are maybe in this place of bondage, of fear maybe, and are not have no clarity in relation how to move forward on your journey, please reach out, and I will send you my offers. The email address is in the description box. And I have also created a free webinar. So if you want to start to work on your energies, both for you and your twin flame, you can choose to click on the link and I will send you the webinar. So that's all for today. And I see you in the next video. Bye for now, everyone. Take care. Bye.